Everyone, Thordan Smash here. Today we're going to talk about some recent stuff that was said by the CEO of Apex Legends. No, not EA's CEO, but Apex Legends itself, Imperial Hal. Most of you guys know him by that name. And he gave some insight onto why he thinks the game is struggling right now. And well, he's not necessarily 100% wrong. We're going to break it down and what the developers are going to take back from his feedback and what we can likely see in a future improvement of the game that might help save it going forward. We're also going to go ahead and give out a Lifeline Prestige skin. All you guys got to do is like, comment, subscribe, and you're entered for a chance to win. But without further ado, let's talk about the issues that Apex Legends needs to tackle. So Apex Legends this season has been under a lot of scrutiny. Some people are really loving it, and if you are, that's absolutely fantastic, but some people are starting to feel the burnout a little more than others. And Imperial Hal went ahead and gave his opinion, and it's a pretty lengthy one on Twitter. And he said, "I really hope even after 5 years of playing Apex, the devs understand how much the competitive scene plays a role into their game. Viewership has been carried by it for who knows how long. They desperately need to play into that with ranked, etc., cash cups, and so on. Things like Realm also immensely help the game because it helps avoid the root problems of games like cheaters and lack of competitiveness in rank. We also just hit the lowest player count on Steam since 2 years ago. For me personally, it feels terrible to play Apex outside of competitive right now with how shitty the meta is in ranked, plus the cheaters stream snipers constantly. I know that right now it's not the end, but I feel like we are just passing on time with so many great opportunities to showcase Apex." And he brings up a lot of valid points, and I actually agree with him on a lot of things there. There were some quotes and responses on Reddit that actually responded to that direct thing, and It's Dubes actually also brings up some great stuff, bringing up that though Imperial Hal makes up a great point, he does miss something, saying there is no casual player base right now. There are sweats and bots. The casual player base needs some help, mostly in matchmaking, because we just get put into sweat lobbies and get wrecked. And this was actually echoed by another great content creator. If you guys have never checked out Tim Provision, I highly recommend it. He does great guides on Apex, but he had one of the best takes I've seen in response to Imperial Hal, saying, "Kind of agree, comp does play a huge role, but at the same time, I think most casuals could care less about comp and are just looking for a fun game to play," which is true. Most people just want to hop on, play Apex for a couple of hours, then hop off, and never will watch a YouTube video or watch anything about comp whatsoever. And he goes on to say, "I think the casual scene is hurting pretty bad. Any competitive game after 5 years can be hard to jump into. Also, viewership doesn't really equate to players. PUBG has 7K viewers on Twitch, but is at 330,000 players on Steam, whereas Apex has 35K viewers, but only 120K on Steam, meaning that most likely content creators carry the viewership with their personalities, and people aren't playing the game nearly as much because, well, it's a sweat fest." And I think Apex Legends is kind of having an identity crisis right now, more so than we've seen in a very long time. Something that I really think Respawn needs to definitely take a look into is the skill-based matchmaking. A while ago, we got a post that there was going to be a rework skill-based matchmaking and some changes that we could be looking forward to that. And they apparently did the skill-based matchmaking changes, but it does not appear that it, really helped too much. Some players are complaining now that the queue times are taking way too long, some reporting up to 10 minutes to get a game. They try to alleviate this by removing the duos queue and introducing solos and quads for limited times, which will come back as a full turn game mode, which once again leads to the identity crisis. Some people just want to play duos, but now they can't. Some people want to only play solos, and they now can't. Some people want to play quads, and they can, but then on the 9th it's going away, so you won't be able to do that again. And I think that what the Respawn needs to do is actually take a look at the casual player base and start listening to those fans a little bit more. It wouldn't be the worst idea ever to try something like X Defiant, where they went ahead and said that casual and pubs will basically be based on ping. There will be no skill-based matchmaking in casual. It will only happen in rank. And you can sit here and argue back and forth on whether or not Apex should have skill-based matchmaking, engaged optimized matchmaking, whatever it may be. But the thing is, something needs to change because players are not having a good time being put into the lobbies that they are, or just having a hard time finding the lobbies to play. Not to mention that with the most recent mid-season update, there has been a huge issue with the performance for a lot of players. I saw It's Timmy complaining about some stuttering and lag, some other players saying that they just can't get a good game and that they continually get kicked and they can't get back into ranked matches. And when your casual player base, which we can clearly see from Alpha Intel, also harping on what Imperial Hal said in his tweet, where the player count is the lowest, and this has been brought up a ton of times this season, it's clear that Respawn is having a very hard time juggling Apex Legends between a competitive game and a casual game where players can hop on and have fun. You have players like Imperial Hal saying that he wants to go ahead and see Seer make a return and be powerful again. Having all these useless characters in the game doesn't make it fun. And he goes on to list how he would go ahead and rework Seer, saying the character is only good for his ult, the Q is actually useless, the wall hack is shorter than the silence, I'm pretty sure, and the silence is too short, and they can go ahead and buff it because Imperial Hal also gave some more thoughts on how he wants to see more OP characters come in, saying the last one was actually Seer, although I'd make an argument that Catalyst has been in the meta a little bit, at least in competitive, but regardless, they go ahead and buff these characters, do what pros want, and then the casual player base gets absolutely slaughtered because now all the sweats and tryhards are trying to use the meta legends that the pros are now using, and then the casuals who get lumped into the skill-based matchmaking lobbies with them, who do not keep up and just want to have a couple games of fun with their friends, get absolutely slaughtered because they just run into teams using Bloodhound, Bangalore, so on and so forth. And it's getting to the point where it's not only the casuals that are getting burned out. 100 Thieves Nicewig, who is probably one of the biggest proponents of the game, always very positive and speaks very highly of it, said he's got nothing but respect for Imperial How for the fact that he still plays ranked every day. He couldn't keep doing it seasons ago. And I know me and a lot of other content creators just are kind of feeling the burnout that Apex Legends is doing a whole lot, but a whole lot of nothing at the same exact time. Introducing new modes and new ways to play is absolutely fantastic and something they need to do. But the problem is they're not addressing the core issues, how to make it fun again, because you can go ahead and bring a squads, which is a unique way to play. It's actually really cool. But if you don't fix the skill-based matchmaking, you're just gonna run into teams running 4 players of meta comp now from the sweats and tryhards. You're gonna get killed way too much, and then you're not gonna want to hop on and play with your friends again. Other games like Fortnite, and I'm not a big fan of Fortnite, introduce new ways to play the game all the time, like the new reload with a new mode and new map, which we're still waiting for on Apex Legends. Hopefully District is ready to go in season 22. And they've got stuff like they're trying to bring back arenas in the near future. Evan Nikolic, which is the design director at Respawn, actually said it's going to be coming back in the next 12 to 24 months. And that was actually about like 8 months ago. So it's right around the corner at this point. But the problem is you can go ahead and give us a bunch of new ways to play the game. But if you don't fix the core stability around the game, such as performance, audio, skill-based matchmaking, and you kind of try to keep putting a band-aid on it by giving us a shiny new toy, you're going to continue to see a declining player base, because for the most part, the fun factor for the casuals of just having a good time is slowly slipping out of the grasp. As I said, Apex Legends continues to deal with a identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be a truly competitive game in the vein of Counter-Strike, or if it wants to be a fun casual thing like Fortnite. And by not picking one side or the other, it's pretty much dooming itself, at least as of right now. Let me know down below, what are your opinions on the current state of Apex Legends? Are you happy with everything going on in the game right now with buffs, nerfs, matchmaking, or do you feel that the devs need to go kick it into overdrive for season 22 to be a success? Also, don't forget to check out this channel right here where I cover news on Helldivers 2 and more video games. And until next time, everyone, keep slaying the Outlands. See you out there.